Welcome to From the Bottom of the Pot. You are going to be cooking with me, Chef Ty. So let's get into it, right? We are going to do a quick meal that is geared towards the busy mom or dad who doesn't really have a lot of time to cook. And this is going to be a dish where we're using beef sausage, a various array of vegetables. So today we have zucchini, squash, assorted peppers, one nice sized onion, but we're only going to use half of this for this recipe. We're going to use some coconut milk that I picked up at our international market. So don't worry about what it says. Just look for coconut on the can, because I can't read that either. This is some cumin. This is my house blend, which will be coming to you soon. So it's garlic, onion, salt, a couple little things in there, but it's, coming to you soon. Salt and pepper already put together, so I don't have to do a whole lot, and I could just sprinkle bay it. Garlic. And this dish that I'm making is referred to as cook-up rice, or the American version of, it's closely represented by jambalaya, but cook-up rice is a Guyanese dish, so you would expect a little bit of heat. And this right here is called Ras Al Hanout. It is a combination of Middle Eastern spices, so it kind of gives you like that Moroccan feel, because I didn't have any Guyanese spices, so this is just close. And it's also something you can find in your local grocery store. It's Ras Al Hanout. We're going to put a little oil in the bottom of the pan. Today we're using avocado oil. Here's the tongue twister of the day, some Worcestershire sauce. And I have just a little bit of wine, cooking wine, to go with it, because the rest of the wine is for me to drink. And some parboiled rice, because it's easier to cook with. Once you coat everything and you cover it, it'll be 25 minutes and we're done. Let's go. To chop up some vegetables. Oh, it's Virgo season. Get into that, right? And then I don't go anywhere without my golden snitch. Now that I have y'all in here with me, right now I'm chopping peppers. It's funny because this is something that my grandmother used to have me do with her, and to make sure I didn't cut my fingers off. You know what I'm saying? So this right here is comforting for me. The prep side of it, which a lot of chefs, we don't really like the prep because it takes time. And that's why we have prep cooks. But I love it because it makes me remember the times I had with my grandmother, because she's no longer here. And just being able to take the time to look at your peppers, right? And make sure there's no bruises or nothing wrong with them. And then just cutting them. These are things that we would have life lessons and life conversations over. This is a dish that until I did my research, I didn't know that it actually came from anywhere other than my grandmother, because she would just have rice leftovers or a fresh batch of rice, and we would just take our leftovers and put it in one pot, and then that was dinner. It was something we looked forward to. I got my start doing stuff like this when I was 8 years old. It's kind of funny, thinking about it, going back into everything that we did. I started cooking at 8. And I was able to prepare my first Thanksgiving dish when I was 12 years old. So at 12, I was the one who cooked the entire Thanksgiving meal. For our zucchini, we're going to cut the zucchini and the squash a little bit different. I have these, so half moons, and you're going to let your knife do your work. So how I'm holding it is this way. I have balance and I'm able to grip it. And then we're just going to fold our hands and just let the knife do the work. And every so often, one of them will jump away because he don't want to be cooked, but it's all good. It's not like a fast thing that you have to be the fastest one to do it. So if you are new and you are trying to do this for the first time, take your time. Take your time. We'll do another one, okay? Hands, knife, and just the rhythm of it. It just is soothing. So this dish right here, like I said, it brings back memories of my grandmother and just being able to have everything good to go in one pot. So all of our zucchini is cut. We have washed off our vegetables, and I'm just taking the head off. And instead of cutting it just like that, we're going to slice it down the middle again, but we're going to cut it on a bias. So when you cut something on a bias, it's just off to the side. So we're going to come in and do just like this. And if you keep your knife in contact with the board, for the most part, all of your pieces are going to come off even. So you're not going to have one piece that's too big and one piece that's too small because your blade is never leaving the board. I'm running out of board, so we're going to take this bowl and put these together inside. Okay? This right here is also referred to, if you're cooking French style, as mise en place. Everything in place. So when we go over to that pot, we'll have everything we need, and it'll go down from there. So, like, I'm doing this, and hopefully, really soon, I'll have an interaction part to this where we'll have like a computer set up, right? And y'all can ask me questions, and I'll answer them. Something to look forward to. But for now, we have everything. We have our onions, we have our peppers, we have our zucchini and our squash. The only thing we need to cook or cut right now is the sausage. This dish can be vegetarian. Okay, so if you don't want any meat in it, you don't have to have any. So, y'all watch me cut up all of the peppers. This is like my little trash bowl. I'm going to go over and wash this off and then cut my meat. So the reason why I'm washing off my cutting board, even though it's just raw vegetables, is because I don't do cross-contamination. Okay? I'm going to come back over. Now I'm still trying to figure out what's the best way for me to cut this, whether I want it in circles or slices. I think I'm going to cut it into 4s just because it's easier that way for me. And it could be for you too. So I had this little thing, it's like almost like OCD, where everything has to kind of be the same size or look the same way. So we're just going to cut it in half. Same way. Run your knife and just keep it moving. And you become, or you get into a rhythm. Okay. I bet if I was in, what is it, ASMR? I don't know how you pronounce it. But that whole bzz, 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 is probably soothing to somebody. Oh, did you hear it? I made the meat clap. I don't know if I'll be able to do it again, y'all. No, it didn't clap that time. Let meat. What we gonna do? After this, we will go straight over to the pot and get to cooking. Okay, so now that we're back, our pot is nice and hot, and we're going to go ahead and drizzle in some avocado oil. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, you're going to hear me say this a lot. I season by faith, not by sight. But I'm working on it, okay? For giggles, we'll say that was about a quarter a cup of avocado oil. And we're going to get ready and drop in our onions, our peppers. And we want our onions and our peppers to cook for at least 4 minutes or until they become translucent before we add our garlic, because we do not want our garlic to burn. Once the garlic burns, it becomes bitter. You hear that? That's what you want. And all of that was a half an onion, you guys. You remember how big that onion was we had? Yes. Because that onion was so big and we're only making this one pot, we don't need that much. But we are going to use all of our peppers. I wish you can smell what we have going on right now, because it smells absolutely amazing. Get into that pot. You see that? Color. In order to sweat this down a little bit, we're going to take some of the salt and pepper and put right in. Again, I season until the ancestors tell me to stop. And I'm also going to wash my hands off just a little bit. Leaving that in there. You know, I promise you I'm strong. I promise. I promise. I promise. Promise fulfilled. Because me and that garlic was just not having the time right there. If this was fresh garlic, this would be about 2.5 cloves of garlic. But since we got it this way, that's what we're going with. And that's all we need. We're just going to mix that in. Oh, this smells amazing. Next thing we're going to put in here is a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. About a 1/2 teaspoon of my house blend. You want to be able to layer your flavors, so you do the same thing with your spices. The smell has already went up like 5 extra octaves in here. It's almost, you know, if I knew who sang what in the choir, we kind of high right now. I don't know what position or what that is, but that's what we at. Next, we're going to go in with all of our zucchini and squash. We are going to fold this in, and then the next thing we're going to put in there is our rice. This way, everything gets coated with the oils. Nothing is going to overcook. And because we're using parboiled rice, we want that nice oil to coat it, and it's going to be grain for grain by itself when it finishes. Now this right here, I promise you, I am going to measure just a little bit. Normally I would just pour it in there, but we're going to go ahead and measure. So I think at this point we should have an introduction of someone else who always is right there to help me. And he's going to help me now by bringing me a measuring cup. Come on in here, sir. Who are you?
I'm the measuring cup guy.
Really? Really?
Hey chef, how you doing?
Hey honey, how are you?
I'm doing good. What you cooking over here?
Cook up rice.
Cook up rice. All right.
1 cup,
2 cups.
3 cups.
4 cups.
That's enough cups.
That's enough cups. So
2 cups of rice is all we need, sir.
2 cups of rice and I'm out of here. Bye.
Yeah, you're done now.
So bye y'all.
Thank you. And we are going to make sure everything is coated. You can hear it. Now you know, and if you don't, smoked sausage is basically already cooked. So we don't really have to do a whole lot of cooking to that. The biggest thing that has to cook is the rice. So with that said, we've now made sure everything is coated evenly. We've created like a little layer at the bottom of our pot. Bang that off. We're going to drop the meat in. And remember that can of coconut milk that I told y'all about? You're going to go ahead and add that whole entire can of coconut milk. Look at the richness. Yummy! And that secret spice I had told y'all about, Ras Al Hanout, just to take that texture up and the flavor, quarter, boom. Top this off with at least 1.5 cup of water. Well, we did 2 cups of rice, right? So
yes.
Then that is actually how many cups of water? So 2-to-1 ratio. So for every 1 cup of rice, you do 2 cups of water.
8 cups.
Oh my, that's a lot of cups, bro. Oh, this looks amazing. And now we'll get our water and we'll be done. We are going to do 2.5 cups because we use 1 can of coconut milk. We don't need to do 4 cups. Give it one last stir to make sure everything is in there. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Put the lid on it, reduce it to a simmer, and in 12 minutes, we'll be all done. Okay, you guys, so here's my other tip. When I get it to this point where it's that rolling boil, I am going to turn it all the way down to low. Then I'm gonna take this, 2 shots, 1, 2, done, right? And if we have any bartenders out there, we're gonna do a 2 count. Done. That right there is all the flavor you need. I am going to take this one good time around the pot, smooth everything out. It is now cut down. We're going to put the lid on it and we're going to let it go. So we are done. And what we have, if you look inside this pot, is the beautiful fat that came up off of the coconut milk. So it puts like this little layer, and then you just get in there and look at that. Look at that. Creamy rice. You hear it. You see it. Now it's time to eat it. So we're gonna plate up. So we have our dish. We also have my other half. So what we're going to do now is actually eat it. And I know that there's someone out there that's like, I wonder who all eats the food when you make these delicious meals? Well,
I-
as for me and my house, my husband, my crew, we all get to eat. That's why we have so many forks. So for all the people that you don't see that are hardworking and making me look good, they're all about to eat this dish. The other thing that I'll leave you with is this. When I cook, because this was a talent that was given to me and a gift that I greatly appreciate, I usually pray throughout my meals. So just because you don't see me do it out loud where you can hear it, know that as I'm seasoning, as I'm stirring, that prayer is going forth so that this meal really does touch you as much as it did when I was making it. So until the next time, which quiet is kept, the next episode is something that you really want to tune in for, because we're taking a trip to India. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You have anything other than eating?
Yeah. So see us on the other side of the pie.
Fork? Fork? That's good.
And you keep on going.
Exactly. Keep on going.
So we can get this joint hooked on. Oh,
No.
Nope, not yet.
Oh.
I'll say action.
Oh, okay.
Alright, action.
Welcome to From the Bottom of the Pot. We are going to cook today with me, and we're going to start that over. I'm so done. Like
Camera rolling.